everyone, my name is Lena KrupinA. The fourth stage of the World Cup has already started in Baku, and at the moment it is the most intense for big names. Well, how did it go, who is in what place after the first day, and who did not succeed, I will tell in this video. And before starting, do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Perhaps soon this will be irrelevant, but at least for now, I will be pleased. Well, since monetization in Russia is disabled, I will be especially pleased if you can support me using the links in the description. Thank you very much in advance. Compared to the previous cup, it is a pleasure for us that the broadcast was working from the very beginning, and there were no issues with it. There were some questions about the quality, but on the other hand, it's better than nothing. In general, the performances themselves were filmed in a strange angle. Sometimes the camera followed the participant but not the gymnast, and it was confusing. Since the broadcast was on TV, sometimes some performances were not shown, but the breaks between the gymnasts were too long. Probably for the TV format, it is necessary to purposely overthink some kind of replays at that time of the advertising, or maybe for the commentator to tell about how the gymnast performed until the competition continues. But this is just one thinking aloud in case they ask me what to do with the broadcast on TV. Well, another interesting project that happened before the World Cup was launched by the Azerbaijan Federation, in which the national teams that were going to compete on the World Cup told which slogan they were competing under. There were cool ones among them, so write in the comments which ones did you like the most. Azerbaijan. Competition is victory itself. Estonia. Individually, we are one drop apart. Together, we are an ocean. Japan. Kita sumire. I want to be able to express my own world in my performances, as my routines have been changed following the new rules. Australia. Only facing the impossible are we able to discover the possible. Finland. Together, we are stronger. Malaysia. Moving forward. Bulgaria. Want the strength of the spirit to become the face of the success. Nina Juroshko. The pain you feel today will become the strength you feel tomorrow. USA. Do it with love or don't do it at all. Germany. Together is always stronger if you believe you can achieve it. Well, since not only people who are very versed in gymnastics are watching me, but also those who have met me recently, some questions about the words that I use in this video have appeared after the previous cup. I decided to explain, but if anything, I have a separate video with the slang in rhythmic gymnastics. For those who are not familiar with these words, it will be very useful. So, dirt is when a gymnast does something not clearly, for which she can receive deductions in execution. An inaccuracy is when a gymnast makes an inaccurate throw and there a displacement occurs, or she has to go back behind the apparatus or run forward. Also, an inaccuracy could be is when an element is executed at the end with a step or a poor form, although probably the bad form of the element is more related to dirt. Risk is a mandatory element in an exercise in which a gymnast must throw the apparatus and make at least 2 rotations with a loss of visual control over the apparatus. She has many different criteria and explanations, but roughly speaking, if you see a gymnast throwing a high and making rotation movements, then most likely it is a risk. Though whether it will be counted or not, it already depends on the little things. Well, I call it hitch when a gymnast gets tangled and stops the pace of the exercise. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Well, to the results of the first day. So on April 22nd in Azerbaijan, gymnasts traditionally started with a hoop and a ball in the individual program. According to the results of the first day, the Bulgarian gymnast Darya Atamanov is in the lead. I think it's already possible to say about her that her programs are more or less worked out, although there are still some dirts in some places. I think with stronger opponents, most likely she will not be able to stay so high, but at the moment she is clearly the leader. In the ball today, she succeeded better than with the hoop in execution. The second place is taken by Sophia Rafaeli, an Italian gymnast. Sophia's exercise with the ball today was rather messy. There were many inaccuracies and hitches in the end, and the score was not at all high compared to the hoop. I'm sure she can compete with Brianna, but so far something is not working out. The third place is occupied by the Azerbaijan gymnast Arzu Jalilova. I miss this Azerbaijani minimalism, an interesting exercise with hoop, and I like the leotard for ball. In general, Arzu did well in both routines. The fourth place is occupied by Milena Baldessari, an Italian gymnast. And hooray! Milena has new leotards for both exercises. As I thought at the previous cup, they were most likely being soon for her. So she performed in the same one. I like the hoop one better. Talking about the performances, the ball was dirty and there were inaccuracies in the hoop. I think a lot of people got startled by the fact that Milena Baldassari was called through a Z. It was funny. 5th place after the first day is occupied by another Azerbaijani gymnast, Zachara Akhamirova. It is clear from her that she has matured. The programs are not yet completely clean, and there is still quite a lot of dirt in the ball and the hoop. The 6th place is occupied by Takmina Kramova from Uzbekistan. She also had some dirt in the ball in the first half, and at the end she seemed to part and perform better. The hoop was much better, but the truth seems to me that she ended not in time with the music. In general, on the first day, many people did not have time. Either the music was in a hurry or the girls hesitated. From my own experience, I say that we used to have competitions at which it seems to us that the audio system was playing music much faster than usual. Maybe this is certainly not the case, but there was still such a feeling since almost every second gymnast finished a little later than the music. But I do not roll out on that because it might be the broadcast that lagged behind. The 7th place is taken by the Israeli gymnast Darya Atamanov, and it seems not at all high. There was expected more from her, but both in the ball and the hoop, losses and inaccuracies were made. So there is room to grow. Well, Dasha has very beautiful legs, so I definitely like her. Finally, we got to see Kita Sumire from Japan. She is in 8th place after the first day. There is still work to be done, but overall, I'm glad to see her. The 9th place was occupied by the US gymnast Evita Grishkinaz, about whom I honestly thought that she ended her career with Laura Zhang, but I was also pleasantly surprised. Very plastic Evita, I didn't notice this before. Either she pumped her skill, or this is how the new rules affected her. Both routines were passed without loss, but she had to come out for the hoop exercise twice.
Evita da müəyyən qədər artıq təcrübəli idmançılardan sayılır.
The top 10 was closed by Ekaterina Vidineva, representing Slovenia. I'm sure that Katya will rise higher since on the first day, not everything was successful for her. There were a lot of dirty elements and the execution was lower because of that, which clearly does not look like Katya. In group exercises, the first place after the first day is taken by the Italian team. The gymnasts performed for the first time at an international start in a FIG competition. The composition, as I understand, has not changed much, so this is the same team that won bronze medals in Tokyo Olympics. The second is the team from Azerbaijan, and with a very small gap, which I am sure they may make up. And we watched the Azerbaijani team at the previous tournaments, which did not perform so well. I thought it was the roster that had been updated, but it turns out it was the second squad of the national team. So in Baku, we see a more competitive team. Well, apparently gymnastics is actively developing in Azerbaijan since they have more than one team to send to major tournaments. For me, this is cool. 3rd place after the first day is occupied by the team of Israel, which also lags behind the leaders quite a bit. In general, let's see how the podium mixes up and who finishes in this tournament with medals. Well, for those who lost the Ukrainian team who were announced but unfortunately withdrew from the competition. Well, we will see you very soon. Remember that I love you all very much, and bye-bye.